Dzień dobry, to ja może powiem po polsku. Dzień dobry Państwu, ja nazywam się Pawel Salamon, jestem uczniem pierwszego społecznego liceum ogólnokształcącego w Warszawie Bednarska. Jestem dzisiaj tutaj z moim kolegą, który zaraz również się przedstawi i bardzo czekam na tą rozmowę i dyskusję.
Dzień dobry wszystkim, ja nazywam się Grzes Karwasinski i jak Paweł powiedział, chodzimy razem do szkoły i będziemy tutaj współtworzyć tą rozmowę.
Dzień dobry Państwu, Arnold Klonczynski. I'm a historian from the Gdańsk University, right now Vice Rector for Students and Education at our university.
Ask you very specifically, what kind of challenges do you see for going into your employment?
I have no idea about my employment right now, but I can only say about the point of view of Polish student and the challenge of the digitalization of working process and the process of education. Well, I think that the Polish students and Polish young people are suffering from the lack of experience with working with some new technology in school or so. And I think that it can have a huge impact in their work skills. I think that from our perspective and from the perspective of the future, when I think about the future, I see a lot of new technology. I see a lot of home offices, working online, e-learning and all that stuff. And I think that it's very important to show young people how to use this kind of technology and how to interact with the technology and online resources in the future. I think that it should be a goal of education to help people with this kind of educational work in terms of technology and online resources. And I think this is a huge challenge for education, and I think that this is the important part.
Yeah, I also think that implementing the new technologies to the education is a key factor for future generations as us, because I think that when we're talking about future employment in our job, honestly, for the young people, it's really hard to, and they don't know what they can do and what their options are. And I think that, for example, some visiting to the companies and like see how the technology can be used in the real life is crucial for the young people to just know what their options are, because I think that most of young people graduate high school and okay, what do I do now? Probably my parents gonna say go study something. Okay, what should I study? And they pick their studies based on like a really not they don't know what to pick and they don't know what the options are after the studies. So I think it would be really important to make sure that young people know their options and know what they can do after the studies.
That's the question about the role of the university right now, the higher education institutions nowadays, because the university are usually divided into two parts. One of them is our research aims, and another is educational aim. We can teach only those things we can know after the research, which are the results of our research, right? So that's the limitation of the higher institution education. So maybe our friends are right to say that no one is not obliged to have a master of art or just master in every field to be very well educated and to find a good job. But the question is, to what reality we are just preparing students to the 21st century, to 2022 labor market, or maybe to the labor market will be existing in next 10 years or maybe next 20 years. So what was crucial to be said just before, that are the micro-credentials. That's the great chance. In Polish, we do not have a proper term for it right now. Mikrokwalifikacje, that's probably the best translation nowadays. But that's a good chance to have different courses it doesn't have to be a full university course. The number of short-term courses offering ACTS points, one or half, and then collect them and to be prepared for the market existing in next 10 years or next 20 years, just to predict what kind of skills will be expected in future as far as we are able to predict it, right? Today we have a list of professions, but maybe we can find or just predict the list of the professions which will exist in the market labor in the next 10 years. But what kind of professions we can find, well, in 2035? Absolutely, we do not know it. There are some, of course, projects just working on the biotechnology or the communication or some other, but well, today it's really hard to say what kind of professions will be important for market, what will be the chance for the young people to find a job in 2040, for example, right? So it means that long life learning to being organized like a chance to change the profession, to change the educational, let's say, perspective, to be better prepared during our life for changing or for the new world. That's probably the solution.
Yeah. That's one of the challenges, having incomplete information and the insecurity of what life will look like. So the question of why can't you prepare us for, tell us what the labor market will look like, what kind of jobs we can have. Well, we don't know, as Lucas just said, and you said that's being developed. So it can only be these underlying competencies of living in a life of uncertainty and figuring that out.
Even today we have some problems. I work on the history faculty, and we have archaeology as one of the majors, one of the programs, and about 60% students just leave the education before the final semester, the first semester, to the end before the end of the first semester, because well, the reality is completely different than Indiana Jones movie, right? It's completely different profession, so nice. Right? So that's the question: to what extent? Well, are we able to prepare the students for the good choice when they are in the high school, for example, right? Do they understand what kind of profession it is? Criminology, for example, right? Or quantum information technology. This is one of our majors. What does it mean? What kind of job you can find after completing that course, right? That's the issue.
Yeah, I think that Mr. Arnold is referring to the part when students are searching for their purpose in terms of their life by experimenting, and they have a possibility to do it when they are in a university part. So I think it's good to have that opportunity before that.
Absolutely, and transformative, transversal competence should not just start at university or in that VET age. They should start with young people, right?